Hey, good evening. Hello, everyone. Nice to see some of you guys are on. So I did do a London market update, London session market update, but many of you guys asked me to do the go back either to the Asian session or New York session. So I'm still deciding what to do. Okay, but I feel like because the market has moved, so I figure let's do a market update during the New York session and kind of see how the market has been moving. Okay, hi everyone. So yeah, let's get started. Hello there. Yeah, saw you in the London session as well, right? Mao Mao on YouTube. Nice to see you again. So let's get started. I just want to do a quick update on everything I have talked about during the London session. I think we are seeing lots of movement in the market already. Lots of pairs going kind of the analysis I'm looking at. So that's good. So hopefully we get a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more development, and I think most of these are pretty ready to go. If some of you guys may already got in some of these trades, that's good as well. So let's get started. Let's get started now. Hello, Gil. Nice to see you. Let's get started with dollar index. So dollar index, as we all know, I'm looking for the strength from the dollar. We finally broke off on this kind of a descending channel on the lower time frame. We broke off on the structure. We're just forming a potential larger continuation. It's a little bit more expanding, but if we get that breakout continuation, push the price up, then definitely see the price to reach this top right here. So it's already looking good. I'll go through all the dollar pairs. They're looking really good. For my London session update, I mentioned that this could be that correctional structure, discounting the NFP kind of a momentum. Impulse correction, we're impulsing down. Good. So because we're reaching to this bottom of the structure now, this bottom of this overall structure, uh, I will wait a little bit, wait for that breakout, wait for another lower time frame continuation, and continue the set. Okay, so that's why I see an Aussie dollar because it's getting close now. For me, in terms of risk management, not interesting to enter here, but a breakout and then correction will always be the ideal trade. So that's Aussie dollar. Let's move on. Your YouTube stream, good. Skywalker, thank you. Let's move on. Let's go to Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi dollar, looking very good. We did get this breakout, and then yes, on the London session, I was looking at this as can we potentially push the price up one more time, and then forming a correctional structure here before the sell. We didn't get that, but we did get the bearish drop, which is good. If we zoom out on the 4 hour, we are already kind of the midway through this correction. So if I'm going to be interested in this, I'm going to wait for a little bit more development here, a little bit more of a bigger correction if possible, and then look for the sell down from here. Or alternatively, the safer way to always be a breakout and then correction to go down. Structurally, it's looking good now because we're seeing this overall structure. We're seeing prices reacting to the top, rejection potentially from that double top area from the higher time frame, and we're slowly breaking down now. So looking for a correction here would be good, or looking for a correction once it's broke out structure would be ideal as well. So let's go to euro dollar. Euro dollar, as you guys know, I made a post here about my trade on euro dollar. Got out of the euro dollar trade because of what the price action is here, but potentially we're breaking out, okay, and potentially we could get that continuation that I keep talking about once we break out a larger structure. So we're just sitting at the bottom here, so don't jump in the trade. I keep reminding everyone, don't jump in the trade because it breakout. Look for a confirmation breakout and then look for a confirmation correction, because this can easily go up once more. And I keep repeating this over and over, is that structurally, even if this goes up, structurally nothing changes from this higher time frame structure. I'm still looking for the sell from the top here. Okay, so be a little bit careful because we're at the bottom here now. Okay, and because price is looking like it might correct itself. Okay, this looks like a descending channel. We could potentially push price up one more time here and then still sell like this. So I definitely wouldn't jump in the trade now. Since I already exited the trade, so I'm not looking to enter the here. It doesn't make sense, right? If I enter here and I exit out here, it doesn't make sense to enter here. Okay, but it will make sense if I get the breakout and then continuation correction here on the lower time frame to continue lower. So that's euro dollar. Let's go to pound dollar. So pound dollar looking very sharp. This was potential entry that I mentioned because I was in euro dollar, so I wasn't in pound dollar. Pound dollar, massive bearish push to the downside, breaking out of this larger structure, looking very, very clean, very, very good. So as always, look for that continuation, right? Don't just jump in the trade now. Over here, it can obviously pull a deeper correction or deeper pullback, and it's going to take you out, right? So wait for a larger correction here or some sort of lower time frame correction to continue to sell. Definitely looking very, very clean. I don't want to miss this trade. I definitely see this can get me at least 4 to 5, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, or even more. So definitely looking very decent for the short. Let's move on. Let's move on to dollar CAD. So dollar CAD actually broke out, looking very good. We zoom into the 1 hour chart. We see this kind of impulse correction, impulse, larger kind of expanding correction. We pop to the upside. Good. So how do I manage this now? Well, because we pop to the outside and because we pop it to the upside impulsively, so I think a lower time frame correction here would be very ideal for the next buy setup. So just look for kind of any kind of continuation. It might build up a bigger continuation like this, or it might have a smaller continuation. But whatever the case it is, I do expect dollar or dollar CAD to continue push up. I'll go through oil later. I'll go through a couple other ones, but you can see clearly that my bias on all the dollar is strength, and my bias on the CAD is weakness. So expect this to continue push up if we get the right price action here. So that's dollar CAD. Let's move on to dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, again, we popped to the upside. We had a correctional structure, and we continue to move upwards. And a little bit choppy here, a little bit not too impulse, really breaking out of this. So waiting for another correction here for the buy would be ideal. Dollar peso. So zooming to the 4-hour chart, remember I mentioned that we're in this kind of a descending channel and then falling wedge. Look for the price to pop out. So it popped to the upside. Again, the only thing that will interest me more is a breakout from here and then lower time frame continuation. Again, zooming out to the higher time frame, looking for this potential up move. And then once the price continues the up move, then potentially looking for a sell down here. Still looking this as the impulse. This is a larger correction, and then looking for the next impulse. So that's dollar peso, dollar Singapore dollar. Again, was looking for the breakout from here. Someone was in this trade and they're asking me how to manage it. And like I said, I won't be interested with the prices here. It's good that we have impulsively move up. Can we get a continuation once we break out the structure? Can it form here, or can it pop to the upside and continue upwards? Looking very clean, looking forward to see what the price will do in this general area to potentially push the price up more. So that is dollar Singapore dollar. Hello, Abdas, nice to see you. Let's go on. Let's move on to a couple other ones. Aussie Kiwi. So sorry, I was showing someone about this pattern here. So let me remove this. So Aussie Kiwi, for my London session, I mentioned that either wait for a ascending channel to form here or continue push the price up to the top of here. So reason double top, top of this overall structure, and then looking for the sell from here. And we're getting this kind of an M style pattern I mentioned in a couple of my analysis and stream is that I see these kind of AM style pattern. There's really no name for it, but it's just a letter, right? If you look at it, it's an AM style pattern, and we're looking for downside from here. So if we zoom into the lower time frame, it is looking like it's going to correct itself, potentially pulling a correction here. Do you think this correction is the valid sell? And waiting for a confirmation here would be ideal. And then at least if I reach the lows here, at least set your trade to break even, and then see if we have momentum to drop to the lows here. This will be definitely at least 3 to 4 to 1. Fits my trading plan. It's good. So that's Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Swiss, sorry, Aussie Swiss. Let's go to Aussie Kiwi here, which is the one I'm looking at now. So Aussie Kiwi, looking at this structurally, I love the structure. I love that we had an impulse down. We're potentially forming a continuation correction. Zooming into the 1 hour chart, we're forming this kind of a ascending kind of channel pattern within this larger structure. Very good as well. So all I need to see now is just really a breakout from the correction. Okay, this is a little bit corrective. I was looking at this when I woke up, and I was thinking, are we gonna get a correction here? We didn't get that correction. We popped right back up, but quickly retraced back down again. So can we continue downwards here? I will be only interested if we break out of this lower time frame correction and then lower time frame continuation correction to build here. And that will be a trade that I potentially enter from here, and then looking for a breakout from this larger structure and continue down to the lows here. So that's what I see on Aussie Kiwi. Moving on to all the yen pairs, I think all the yen pairs have dropped. And in my London session, for those of you who were there at London session, I was looking at impulse correction and impulse, and looking for price to at least to push up to the top here before the nether bearish drop. So we have this in the last few hours already, and because again we're approaching to this kind of a larger structure now. So if you're not in the trade already, I would naturally wait for the price to break out, and then wait for a correction here to continue sell lower. So that's Aussie yen. Let's go to CAD yen. So CAD yen, beautiful breakout. When the price was around here in London session, I mentioned it could easily pop back up. That's why I'm not interested to sell here until I see a confirmation breakout. So that's a clearly confirmation breakout. So one last thing I need to see is again, lower time frame continuation, something like this. Whatever it's going to develop into, look for the next sell down from here. So that is CAD yen. Moving on to Euro yen. So Euro yen broke out as well. Most of these yen pairs all broke out, which is good. This is all good news for at least from my point of view in terms of trading, because I'm looking for more bearish opportunity on all the yen pairs. So there was a correction here, and I mentioned I'm not interested in this correction. I'm interested for a breakout, and then if it developed into a larger continuation here, that will be my ideal trade to continue trade lower, at least to the lows here. Certainly going to get at least 3 or 4 to 1 in this trade as well. So looking very clean, looking very sharp, and looking for the next push down, of course. Pound yen. So pound yen, again, from the London session when the price is around this area, I mentioned not interesting until I see that full breakout. So we got that full breakout. We got really massive impulse to the downside, which is good. And I mentioned now, I'm not interested to miss, the 50, 100 pips here. I'm interested to capture this move, which is going to give me hundreds and hundreds of pips, right? So it's okay to miss a potential entry here. I think someone sent me a message saying that, is this a correct entry? Personally, I don't think so, because this is at the bottom of this larger structure. Of course, in this case, it broke out, but in the long term, for the safer side is wait for that breakout. And now we're just waiting for a lower time frame continuation correction to push the price down. And looking very clean, because this is clearly a head and shoulder pattern I'm seeing. Okay, left shoulder head, right shoulder potentially. The right shoulder is this potential correction that you can make. And we're at the top of this overall price action. We're at the top, we drop down. And then if we get this correction here, this move is going to be very, very decent and very, very probable. Okay, so pound yen is looking very good. And Kiwi yen, I mentioned, was one of my favorite kind of a yen pairs to look at. And zooming into the 1 hour chart, again, from the London session earlier, I was looking at this, and I was looking at, can we get this price to push up one more time from the top before the sell-off? Price didn't do that. We just kind of impulse down all the way, which is fine. If it developed a lower time frame continuation here, and we're in the middle of this larger kind of parallel structure, so I do see there's still room to the downside. This could be potentially another trade, at least down to the lows of the structure here, and really reevaluate to see what the price will do in this general area. Because from the daily, like I mentioned over and over, is that this is still a correction, and we see an impulse up, and we're just forming a larger correction because price has already moved down. So expect price to at least hit the lows here, potentially a double bottom here or the bottom of the structure, and then you can likely to see a potential up move. But in terms of short-term wise, in terms of price action here on the intradays, definitely see more bearish opportunity to the lows. So that is all the yen pairs. Okay, go pips. Pips, yeah, pips Skywalker. So that's Kiwi yen. Okay, so let's move on to a few other ones. CAD Swiss was nice. So Cat Swiss, those of you from the London session, if you guys remember, I was talking about that when the price is in this area. I said wait for price to correct here a little bit longer because we're looking at this as a recent double top. We're at the top of this longer kind of channel structure, and overall price action, if we zoom out a little bit, we're at this kind of a daily double top or higher time frame double top. Everything is telling me for a potential sell-off. Zoom out even more. This was the COVID drop from here. We had a massive bearish push to the downside. We had a correctional structure. We had a ascending channel pushing the price up and another impulse. And then this can be another correction, another impulse, another correction. And guess what the price will do now, right? I'm seeing this as a clear kind of a sell-off, at least to the lows to the structure. And then if we can break out, then look for more downside. Definitely see this trade happening in the upcoming days or week. Because it's still in the structure here, so be careful. I do see looking for potential. This was a potential entry right here. This is what always I'm talking about, that if we break out some structure, look for an impulse, look for another lower time frame continuation to push the price down lower. And because I mentioned we're still in the structure here, so if we see price push down here to this bottom here, don't be surprised that we can see a price push up one more time and then from the top here and still drop. And I keep mentioning this, but I'll say this again, structurally nothing changes because structurally price is still corrective. And just because it pushed down and then doesn't mean it's going to continue lower, it can very well bounce back right more time, reaching this top or breaking this double top here and then looking for the next downside. Okay, and that's how the price move over and over. As long as it's still in this structure, as long as price is still behaving in this kind of pattern, always remember that move your stop or take profit or whatnot if you start getting some sort of a reversal kind of structure and then potentially pushing the price up. Okay, so that's Cat Swiss. Moving on to Pound Swiss. Yeah, so Pound Swiss, from the London session, when the price is over here, I mentioned because there was a person messaging me that he got in the trade from here. And I mentioned when I go to a lower time frame, I saw this was an impulse. This could be a correction to potentially push the price up to the top here before the drop. So I mentioned if he or she was in the trade, make sure you set it to break even or move your stop. But what's good about it is that we get that bearish push down, we get that bearish impulse overall, and again we're sitting at this bottom of the structure now. So very similar like the Cat Swiss I just mentioned. We're at the bottom of this channel now, bottom of this parallel channel. Don't just jump into a sell entry now. Okay, you can easily see a deeper correction taking you out of your stop and still drop like this. Okay, so the safer side is breakout, lower time frame continuation, and look for this sell here. Okay, I'm always going to be in this sell no matter what. Okay, that is just my style, my strategy. You're going to see this kind of move over and over again, right? We have the impulse, we have a correction. I'm looking for the next impulse. That is just how the market moves in any type of market. So breakout, continuation, look for the next sell here. Definitely getting at least, if not 5 or 6 to 1, this kind of setting. So very good to see that price has impulsed down already. So just give it a couple, either a couple hours or 1 or 2 days to develop into something. Even a correction here would be ideal. Not as safer as the one that breaks out in the correction, but a correction here is still ideal for me in my times of trading. So that is Pound Swiss. Anyone has any pairs that they want me to go through in terms of currency before I kind of jump into commodities? So, okay, so not much. Then let me go through commodities really quick. Let's go to US oil or oil in general. I made a post here on the US oil. I personally did not get in. Okay, I did not get in this trade, but I was looking for a potential bearish move here, and I'm looking for a larger kind of continuation drop before the move point. But I guess we did form a kind of a lower time frame, kind of a 1 hour correction, but wasn't too interesting. I was waiting for a larger kind of a correction here, but nevertheless, price drop, which is good. Happy to see the price drop. Happy to see that the overall price action is bearish, which give you the bias on a lot of dollar pairs, especially dollar CAD. So we already dropped down. If you didn't get into this kind of a 1 hour correction, then again, naturally looking for more correction here to push the price down. And then kind of reevaluate when price reach to the lows here. Do we have enough momentum to break out, or do we going to see some reversal from here? But still have lots of room. We're still looking at least $3-4 of movement here. But now because we dropped so much already, I wouldn't just jump in the trade now, right? As always, we bearish impulse down already, so at least look for some sort of correction like this to form here before the next sell. So that's US oil. Let's go to silver really quick. Silver. So silver drop. For my London session, I mentioned I was looking for a breakout from this correction. We're still in this. We see the price was in this larger structure. We bearishly impulse out of that and looking for a continuation correction. Because it didn't, and I mentioned when I see a breakout, I need to see a lower time frame continuation. I didn't get that here on silver. I was looking at this breakout here. This is pretty impulsively, and I was looking for some sort of correction here. Never happened here, so happy to again wait on the sideline, observe to see if price can push up one more time from here and then the drop, or is it going to continue downwards in the remaining New York sessions. So focusing on silver, and then let's go over gold, because gold always has been the one that's everyone talk about. And I mentioned this again in my London session that if I need to choose between gold or silver, I'm definitely choosing silver. They pretty much have very identical or similarity in terms of price action. The only difference, in my opinion, is that price is still in the halfway, kind of in the middle of this larger correction, whereas in my opinion, silver already kind of broke off on the structure here. That's pretty much the only difference in my opinion. Other than that, I think they all look pretty clean for the next down move. So my bias for gold, sell. My bias for gold is short, looking for some sort of breakout from this structure here, and then continue to the lows here, and then kind of reevaluate to see what the price would do in this general area. Now, happy to just wait a little bit longer. Are we looking at this as a potential structure to push up one more time from here before the drop? Not very clean yet, so happy to stay out and then observe a little bit longer. So that is the commodities I'm looking at. Any question on those or any other commodities you want me to look at before I jump into a few indices? Can you view HGD? Yeah. Is this the one? Is this the one that you're talking about? Let me just kind of zoom in a little bit. Yes. Okay. Um. To be honest, personally, I'm not seeing too much in terms of price action. This is just the first time looking at this. We're just in this like sideways consolidation for like a long period of time, right? Since really April 2016. I haven't seen much price movement compared to previous data. If you zoom out a little bit on higher time frame, uh, really price has just not moving too much in this area here. If we zoom in a little bit, okay, it just has been dropping and dropping and dropping, right? So I'm not really interested in any more sell. I'm more interested if I get the correct kind of bullish price action. But even with that, I'm not really seeing much price action in terms of bullish price action. Okay, we this looks like something here, but because there's nothing from the past, there's no kind of higher time frame kind of momentum from my perspective. Not seeing much here at all, unfortunately. That's how I see on HGD. Okay. Do you think so? Breakout correction can still provide 1-3 reward. Yeah, let's take a look. So silver, aiming for the lows, right? So let's zoom in a little bit. So let's say obviously we get a breakout. we got a breakout from here, and then some sort of lower time frame continuation. Obviously, I won't know how big or what kind of correction would be. Basically, setting a step maybe 40 pips or 4,000 pip, whatever you want to call, so 40 cents. Looking for the lows here, looking for the lows here. Even let's say a Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back. Did I drop out earlier? I'm sorry. Did I drop out earlier? Maybe because of the internet. I apologize. I got cut off. Okay, so is everyone back? Am I back online? Is it all good? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see my drawings? Oh yes, good, good, good. Back online on YouTube as well. Good, good, good. Thank you. Yes, all good. Thank you. Yeah. So let's get started. I apologize. So continue. So silver, did you get what I said in silver in terms of 3-to-1 risk reward that you're asking? Did you hear that part? No? Okay, no worries. So what I'm saying was, so let's say we get a breakout from silver from this correction here. So we get let's say a bearish push to the outside, and then let's say we're gonna form obviously a lower time frame continuation. So let's say that the stop loss, I'm looking at a 50-cent stop loss, so pretty reasonable stop loss to cover at least the overall correction here, and then looking for the next low, right? That's how I always look for. So about 41 I'm looking at here, about 4-to-1, that could be a risk reward, like, excuse me. uh Obviously you wouldn't know how this correction would be or how big or how large this correction would be, but looking like a 4-to-1 at least to me on silver. Okay, so that is silver. I missed this question. Natural gas. Yeah, let me go to natural gas. So natural gas, not seeing too much here. Okay, still looking for a breakout. Okay, and for my London session, when I update this, I mentioned again we're approaching this daily double top, and because I wouldn't able to get like a 3-to-1 risk reward. This is a good question from Silver just now. Silver, I wouldn't get a 3-to-1 risk reward for this trade to up. So I'm really not too interesting because we already very impulsively up already. This can develop into a larger structure before it go, or it can break out and a lower time frame to continue. But because this trade won't give me 3-to-1, I'm not too interested. I will be interesting if we get the breakout and then a larger, deeper correction before the next up move. This I'll always look to take, but because we're approaching this area now, so I'm not too interested. Happy to wait and happy to see the price just pop to the upside and then forming that correction to continue. That is what I see. Natural gas, to answer you, Richie. So okay, so let's continue. That is all the commodities. Okay, so let's go into a few indices. Okay, indices are looking all bearish, of course. So update a few one that I went over in the London session. China 50 was the one that I was talking about. Sorry, I was checking something. Anyways, China 50, we broke out from this structure here. Okay, we broke out from the structure, so naturally looking for a continuation here. Uh, Looking for a little bit more development here, or even just push the price down even lower and then continuation down here. Uh, I talk about that every time when I see price like this is similar like gold I went over, is that when you see a bullish push to the upside, and if you didn't see any continuation correction to push the price more, and instead you see a bearish reversal, this move impulse correction, impulse, very high probability that I see this kind of thing repeats over and over again in the market. So looking clean, very clean. It's similar like gold. I just want to go over gold one more time because I got so many people asking about this for the buy. When I see this bullish push, massive bullish push to the upside, and I didn't see any continuation here, instead we impulse right back into the previous levels. Whatever people say, this was the reason. This is the all-time top on gold. We break right into that. We break some 2000 level. People keep telling me about it broke 2000. It broke 2000. That $2,000 has really nothing to do with the price action. Okay, it's just a psychological number that people think is a round number that if it breaks above, it's going to continue upwards. Whereas I see gold is that we push up, we didn't have a correction, we push right back down, and then potentially forming more bearish price action. And that's why I'm looking for more bearish kind of opportunity to the lows here. And it's very similar than the indices as well. When I see this China 50, very similar as well. And uh, you know, looking back your market, do some back testing, you'll see these kind of things over and over again. You'll see market pop to the upside and then start getting a lot of people to jump in the trade and then quickly just retrace right back up, taking everyone in loss and then forming some sort of larger correction and continue downwards. I see this kind of price action over and over again. Okay, it repeats itself a lot, and looking to capitalize on that. Okay, so let's move on. Euro 50. Euro 50 was asked by another person. Still looking good. I will be waiting for a confirmation breakout and confirmation correction. Zooming out here, I talked about this last in the session. We're in this potential kind of a parallel reversal channel. We pushed right, we had the bearish impulse down, and then we already corrected itself quite a bit, but this doesn't look like a continuation to go up. This looks more like a reversal kind of parallel structure, and we have a parallel kind of structure within the larger structure, and just looking for that confirmation breakout, confirmation correction to sell at least to the lows here. So that's Euro 50. Nifty. So Nifty, again, I was looking for a bearish push to the downside and then forming a little bit a bigger or tangible correction. This can continue push up to here before the sell-off, or because this could be a potential completion already, then we can see a price drop down here. Either way, looking at the next potential low as a potential target. That's Nifty. Let's go into a few US indices. So Nasdaq. Nasdaq is looking good because we're still at this bottom here. Okay, and I talk about this in my previous stream is that this is a good sell, and then but the price is when the price is at the bottom here, you just have to be a little bit more careful. Okay, we could continue push the price down, very likely. Just that it could also potentially forming some sort of lower time frame double bottom and pushing the price up, forming a potential deeper correction here before we get the sell off. So that's why for me, happy to wait. If it's going to develop something bigger, let it develop something bigger. Or if it breaks out, then look for the next lower time for continuation. We broke out of this. If it breaks out this larger structure, and if it forms some sort of lower time for continuation, definitely will get in this sell at least to the lows here. So that is Nasdaq, S&P 500. Similar price action. What I like about it is that we actually broke out this overall kind of a parallel channel structure. We're in. This was a potential sell opportunity from this impulse down, and then price pull down and then retrace back up. This could be very clear kind of correction in this way. A little bit ugly from a correction to correct this move, and now we're seeing a potential more drop down from here. So again, be a little bit more careful. See what the price will do here. I do expect price to continue, but continue in a correctional fashion to continue downward like this. And I mentioned this again yesterday that I don't expect some sort of a bearish push like this, like the COVID drop, but I do expect some sort of correction push to the downside and then potentially seeing the up move later on. But because this move is so impulsive, because this move already has happened, and there's really no kind of continuation correction, larger continuation correction. So naturally looking for a larger continuation to correct all this move is very ideal for the next buy move. But for now, looking bearish to me. Dow Jones. So Dow Jones. Let's look at again. I like what the price action overall is doing, but I think S&P is a little bit more cleaner because we already broke out the structure, whereas Downs is still in this overall parallel channel. I do like overall the price action still. We still have lots of these correction within correction, correction within the larger structure, correctively moving the price up as you can see. Okay, it is moving up, but it's correctively moving up. It's not moving impulsively like something like this, which is also a very good indication that this structure is a potential reversal structure, and we can see bearish push to the downside. So on the recent top here, we have this kind of a ascending channel. We push the price back down and see this correction is the same correction you see in S&P and NAS. Push down, potential correction here again, and then continue push down. So how would I manage this? Well, again, I won't be too interesting until we see a full breakout and then continuation to push the price down. I think S&P is looking much better because we're out of this correction. And this is how I pretty much pick, if we're looking at a similar thing, let's say if you're looking at similar dollar pairs or you're looking at similar yen pairs or indices or US kind of indices, that's kind of how I filter trades, really, how I filter out good trades compared to better trades, really, right? Dow Jones is good. This is a good valid trade, good valid sell, a good valid price action. Uh, but there is better ones because this is a clear breakout from this overall channel. Okay, so that is how I just a quick lesson there, how I distinguish or how I choose the better setups to enter. So that's S&P. That's Dow Jones. So that's all the indices I'm looking at. There are a few equities, but they're all very bearish, so not too interesting in most of these ones. Anyways, I will go over the ones that I keep asking about, like Tesla and Apple. So I'll go over Tesla really quick. So I already got out this trade here from this buy here. My stop, I remember, was somewhere here. So managed to just get a little bit profit. That's fine. Because ultimately I'm seeing a potential in Tesla. Well, we dropped quite a bit. Okay, that is. I remember there was a news, or not news, but there was a stock split on Tesla, right? We see price drop down, and a lot of people are looking to buy here, and this is how the market take them out, right? Because they think, oh, the stock is at a split. It's cheaper to buy the stock now instead of it was at 2,000 or something like that. Now it's at 500. I can buy more, and you see how the market just drop down and taking out all the potential buy orders or buy entries here. Uh, how I see this overall is that when you see an impulsive move like this, you naturally is going to look for a larger continuation to buy. Okay, if we zoom out on the higher time frame here, when you have a correction and you have an impulse, you're always going to look for a larger continuation correction. Okay, a larger continuation correction to correct this move and then looking for the next move, right? I talk about this over and over again in my kind of a strategy and entry is that impulse correction, when you're looking for the next impulse breakup, look for a breakout from this larger structure and then looking for a correction to buy. That is always going to be my setup because market, impulse, correction, impulse. Very straightforward, right? So we impulse up so much already. What now? Well, definitely not interesting to buy or sell now. I want to see what the price will do. Can we get a larger structure like this? Takes maybe weeks or months to develop, or are we just going to continue drop downwards? I really don't expect that to happen. To drop just right back into the lows here. Do you expect price to be a little bit corrective, maybe forming a correction like this before the drop? I don't see this dropping like a straight line. But ultimately, I'm still bullish on this, even though we dropped so much already from here. Uh, I do want to see a little bit more price develop here for the next buy move. But if not, it doesn't happen. I'm out of that trade anyway, so happy to kind of observe what the price will do. So that is Tesla. Do you think Google? Yeah, let me go over a few of those, Lena. Google, Amazon, Zoom, and EA. Sure, I'll go over some of these. Let's go over Google first. Google. So Google, I made an analysis here for a potential buy, okay, because we see a break, correction, an impulse correction, and then looking for the next buy. Price did manage to push up, but it didn't really push up much longer before we see this bearish drop, right? Looking at it from a lower time frame perspective, because we impulse right back down, and again, this is very similar than gold and all the ones I mentioned. When you see an impulse up and you didn't see a correction to continue, and you right away see a bearish reversal, very good chance that if we get a correction here, this is going to be the downside here. Okay. Personally, I won't be shorting most of the stocks anyways, but I'm giving you kind of what I think about in terms of price action. So if we get a correction here, if we get a kind of a larger, deeper correction here, and then look for the sell, this could be a head and shoulder pattern here. Okay, and then looking for kind of a bearish opportunity to push down. That is what I see on Google. If that doesn't happen, happy to be on the sideline once again and see what the price will do. This was the before the COVID drop, and we impulse up so much already. So not surprised to see a larger, deeper correction to form here before the next up move. Okay. So that is Google, Amazon. So Amazon was looking at this as a potential buy move. This is the impulse. This is a correction. I was looking to buy if we get the price to push down one more time to here, and I was looking to buy either from here or a completion of this pattern. But sometimes price doesn't reach that. We pretty much just impulse up from this area. So didn't get into Amazon, which is fine. But you see similar price action, right? We impulse up, no continuation correction. We impulse right back into the bottom here. So if it forms some sort of continuation correction here, I do think this price can go continue down to the lows here. But personally, I'm not interested to sell the equity, so I'm happy to just wait and see what the price will do in the upcoming days or weeks, because we might get into a smaller, short-term bearish momentum like that now. So that's Amazon Zoom. So Zoom, I made a post here. I didn't get into this. So I just want to go over that. I was looking at this as an impulse, and this is a correctional structure to push the price up. There were some gapping, so price pretty much just impulse all the way up, and then it's kind of retracing back down now, right? So again, I'm going to repeat this over and over again. The gap is happening like this. So imagine there are a candlestick or price action, but we impulse up, and then there is no continuation. We pretty much impulse right back down again. So be careful on this one. Can it form a correction to continue lower? I definitely see this happening. Okay, so that's why I'm not into any of the buys right now. I'm happy to kind of see what the price will do in a bearish kind of market, and then reevaluate to see what will happen. That's Zoom. Last one, EA. I don't have EA here. Okay. So first time looking at EA. So still looking bearish to me. We didn't quite hit the daily double top, but that's fine. We're looking at a potential rejection anyways. Price didn't able to push up any higher. Going to the intraday chart, to me, this is clearly a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so reversal, we see the price dropping down already. Potentially, this could be a reversal structure, a head and shoulder within a reversal structure. We push the price down, and looking for lower time frame continuation here, potentially for more sell off to the lows here, or to the lows here. Looking very like a bearish kind of market coming in, and no surprise, right? We're looking at all the indices as all bearish, anyways. So not surprised to see most of these, especially most of the equities I focus is U.S. equities, anyways. U.S. blue chips equity stocks anyways. So not surprised to see when the indices are falling, I'm seeing most of these ones are falling as well. Okay. So hope that answer all your wants for you, Lena. What else is the one I want to go over? So that's all equities I'm looking at. Unless you guys have any ones that any other equities you want me to look at, I'll go over crypto last. Okay, I'll go over crypto last, unless there's any equities you guys want me to look at. So someone messaged me he's in CAD yen. Good. Good that you're in CAD yen. I think this is the valid kind of a sell, right? If you've been following me the way how I see the market, I do see this as a valid sell. This is a correction from the top, right? We talk about this. We had a bearish impulse down, and then looking for a lower time frame continuation. This is clearly a lower time frame continuation. So if you enter the sell, good. And then when the price reach the lows here, make sure you move your stop to break even, and see if we get momentum to push the price up like this. Okay. So if you're in CAD Swiss, good. Okay, so let's move on to crypto. Euro dollar, yeah, I went over euro dollar, but I'll go over euro dollar again. So euro dollar, higher time frame perspective, we're looking at this as a double top. Clearly, price is slowing down and it's kind of forming a potential reversal kind of structure. Going to the intraday parallel kind of channel. Like I said, I was in the euro dollar trade. I was in from this correction here. Got out the trade somewhere here, and because I'm seeing this overall structure probably need a little bit more development. I was looking at this in the London session that can we get a push up to the top here before the sell? Look like price is already kind of trickled down and we're breaking out of this larger kind of 4-hour structure now. So as always, wait for this breakout, wait for a lower time frame continuation correction, and look to add to the sell. Okay, if we break this low here, okay, if we break this low impulsively, then honestly expect this to continue down more. Okay, this lows will be pretty much the last kind of potential double bottom, so to speak, or the last kind of area where price may react to other traders who are looking to the buy. If we break below this and all the buy orders will be either cancel or fill, then we're looking for more downside from here. That is euro dollar. So let's go to crypto. Let's go to crypto. I really don't have much on crypto because they're all bearish. You can see it's all red anyways. Crypto for me personally, it's the same as equity. I try my best not to look for any sell. Okay, I'm only in equity or crypto for the buy. Okay, because I'm doing it more as a swing trade or a swing investment. It's not like how I trade currencies or commodity where there will be more, my entries and exit will be more in a days or weeks max. Whereas if I'm into any of these equities or crypto, I'm looking to hold the trade a little bit longer. Hence, I'm not looking for sell. Okay, so let's go for a few one. So Bitcoin. Bitcoin in London session, I talk about this is a potential reversal structure. We bring the price down, and if it form continuation here, this is definitely a sell to me to push the price down. Okay, so wait for a correction to build here, a longer, deeper a little bit, and then looking for the sell breakout to at least the lows here. Okay, I definitely see this happening, but personally, I won't get into any sell on crypto. Dash, or is a couple ones that's still looking potential bullish. Had this massive bullish push to bounce upside, and we're just in this longer kind of parallel channel, and price is kind of stalling here. Okay, this is potentially kind of a reversal, and we're seeing potentially price pop to the upside. Won't be interesting until I see a full breakout and a full kind of a lower time frame continuation to push the price up even higher. But for now, happy to let it consolidate. It might consolidate much longer. It might break out here a little bit and come back down, break out a little, come back down. And that's why confirmation of a lower time frame correction is always going to be the most ideal. Ethereum, very similar like Bitcoin. This is a kind of a ascending kind of channel, reversal kind of channel. We push the price up and quickly retrace back down. So naturally, if it comes a lower time frame continuation here, look to me is the same kind of sell setup like Bitcoin. Ethereum and Bitcoin, you guys remember my buy was at the bottom here. My sell is, my stop loss already moved here, so I'm already out of Ethereum for the buy. I'm already out of Bitcoin for the buy here as well. Move my stop here, I remember. So happy to take profit here, and then happy to wait to see what the price will do. So looking at Ethereum, waiting for a correction here. Looking for the short-term sell is ideal. Again, personally, I won't be in the sell. Let's go to Link. Let's go to Link. This is the bullish push to the upside. And then This to me, same thing as Dash, that is still within this structure, within this correction, which is good. Potentially, if we zoom into the lower time frame, this potentially is a inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, we have an impulse up. We're potentially getting a correction here to push the price up more. Okay, so that's what I see on Link. Again, as always, because the price is still in this larger structure, happy to wait to see a breakout from here and then lower time for continuation for the buy. And then if we zoom out a little bit, there's really nothing else once you break this top. This is all-time high price on Link, right? So once it break out, once it form correction, I do think this buy could be a long-term hold for me personally. So that is Link. Let's go over last two one. Ripple Bitcoin. Ripple Bitcoin still in this larger kind of potential continuation correction from this impulsive move. Just waiting for pretty much lower time frame continuation to break out from here and then continue move upwards. If not, happy to just let it sit a little bit longer in this area and then see what will happen in the upcoming days and weeks. That is Ripple Bitcoin. Last one, Ripple. Ripple. So higher time frame perspective, looking very same. Forgot to move this line, but same thing as what I say in the London session. This is much clearer, better than Bitcoin, Ripple Bitcoin, because impulse correction, impulse, naturally looking for another correction here for the next impulse. And because we broke out of this larger, higher time frame structure, we broke out of that very impulsively. So looking for a breakout, lower time frame continuation is always going to be the buy. This was the buy I was in. See how the price repeats over and over again in the market. If we zoom into the intraday chart, this is the higher time frame correction. We broke up, lower time frame continuation correction, impulse up, looking for a development in this larger structure, and then looking for a same breakout, same kind of continuation, just like this, to push the price up just like this. All right, so that is what I see on Ripple. Okay, any question or any other cryptos you guys want me to look at? I can take a look. So yeah, that is it really. That is it for this New York session market update. I do like most of the pairs I'm looking at. Like I said, most of the dollar pairs I look at is very clean. There's mostly I'm going to focus on a couple of key dollar ones. So like euro dollar looking good, pound dollar looking even better. Okay, I'll go over pound dollar. Someone has asked me for pound dollar. Okay, I'll go over pound dollar really quick. Pound dollar. So as you guys know, this was the impulsive move on the top. I mentioned again that someone asked me why I didn't get into pound dollar, and I'll go over this really from a risk management point of view. Okay, so a quick lesson here on risk management. I'm sorry, did it drop out again? Am I back online? Is everything okay? Is everyone good? Can see my charts? Back online. Sorry, I don't know why the internet, but I'm back online. Sorry. Anyways, I thought I explained the pound dollar. Okay, this is what I was going to go over is that I want to talk about pound dollar because some of you guys messaged me why I wasn't in euro dollar and pound dollar. So quickly explain this, why my reasoning behind it. It really is just my risk management and how my trading plan is because I don't need to be in like $2 or $3 pairs. Okay, it's all about controlling your risk. Okay, yes, pound dollar works out better than euro dollar, but I wouldn't know that when I first look in the market from this perspective, right? I wouldn't know that, but I am only going to choose $1 pair at that given time because they're all looking the same, right? This was my dollar entry on euro dollar. This was potential entry from pound dollar. The point I'm trying to say is if you're constantly thinking about the profit that you wouldn't get, in this case pound dollar, if I enter here I probably get like 6 or 7 to 1 in this trade. But if you're constantly thinking like that in terms of trading, honestly, trading would be very stressful for you. Okay, the key is you can't think. This is like what we call hindsight is 2020, right? There's a saying in North American English is that uh, you can't see, you can't look at it and see like, oh, I wish I entered this trade. Oh, I was looking at this trade, whatever. You really wouldn't know that until the outcome comes. Okay, and that's how it is. I can't obviously predict the future, but I have a good understanding of price action structure. I have a good uh, bias on the trade, and I have uh, the confluence is there, right? That I can see a potential drop like this. Doesn't guarantee, okay? And this is just that in this case, in this example, it works out perfectly. But who to say that the dollar couldn't bounce up like here and continue going upwards like this, right? Who to say that that wouldn't happen? Okay, and this is why keeping your risk small, focusing on $1 pair instead of focusing on like 3 or 4 entries. Because yes, in this example, in this case, all the dollar works out in my favor, great. But what about if all the dollar, what if it doesn't work out in my case? What if the dollar weakens? So I'm in $4 pairs and then the dollar weakens, right? And I'm gonna take 4 losses for no apparent reason. Okay, and this is what I get a lot of message from beginning traders that they lose money or they lose substantial amount of money in trading is that they don't have a good understanding of risk management. Okay, correlation of the pairs, dollar pairs. Okay, if the dollar is going to go up, then you're going to see all the dollar pairs going up. It's just how naturally currency pair moves. The dollar is so strong and it's so heavily weighted that if the dollar pair continue going up, guarantee all these dollar pairs are we're going to see dollar strength. It's just how the market moves. So I don't want to get stuck with like $3 or $4 pairs and take 3 or 4 unnecessary loss. I just need to take 1 loss if I'm in $1 pair. Okay, and then similarity, if I'm in many of the dollar pairs, of course, hindsight that all these dollar pair works out. Yeah, if I'm in $3 or $4 pairs, I probably looking at 12 to 1 or 14 to 1 the profit. But that's not how I think in terms of trading. Okay, your goal as a trader is to consistently make profit, consistently get in and out of the market, make money from the market, and compound your account. Okay, this is the biggest difference between trading and investing. Someone who's investing in stocks is looking to buy low and sell at a typical kind of a mindset. But the key is investing, you're looking to hold a stock for years or months or weeks, and you're expecting it to trend upwards, right? That's investing. Whereas trading, from my perspective, is get in the market, get out of the market within a certain criteria, and then look for the next opportunity. I'm not gonna look to hold a short all the way down here in one go. It just doesn't make sense because in this one go, you're likely to see a lot of correction. You're likely to see like this, move up, move up, move up, move down, whatever it is, right? The point is you likely not going to hold a trade all the way down like this. Okay, before emotion gets to you, before a deeper pullbacks happen, takes out most of your profit and you get upset, you sell here, you exit the trade here, and then it continue downwards and you're trying to enter here again and then pop out. That's how emotional trading happens. So it's always good to understand that trading is about consistency. Okay, everyone, consistency to consistently make profit in the market and then consistently look for the next opportunity. But now your account is growing, you're compounding your capital, and every 1% or whatever risk that you do is continue growing. Okay, so your profit is continue growing. The next trade you take, let's say your first trade you take $100, you get 3 to 1, so you have 300 now. And then the next trade you take, you're gonna start with 105 or 103, and that is how you compound the trade, how you compound your account. Sorry, and then continuously grow your account so that when you have a larger account, uh, making 5%, 7% a month is going to be huge, right? It's going to be game changing for your life. Okay. And one last thing to add is that new traders is always looking for that holy grail, right? Holy grail. Like I'm gonna enter here, I'm gonna make 30 to 1. Yeah, of course, if you hold this, yeah, you're likely to make 30 to 1. But is this how trading is? Is it sustainable for a trader to over risk in this area, over leverage, and then hoping to make some sort of 30 to 1 in one trade. It may work for beginner traders who have a small amount of capital they're looking to grow, but it certainly won't work for bigger account or larger capital when you get those from an investment. Okay, think about your perspective is that when you have investment people, when you have firms looking to invest into your trading ability, which is there's so many, okay, there's so many. Even I get contact a lot by these kind of firms where they're willing to ask you to trade, right? Because even there's a few of those ones out there where they're willing to lend you money to trade. That's why if you can be consistent on a small account, you can be consistent making profit every month, the capital will come. Okay, there's always going to be money flowing around. There's always been people willing to invest risky a little bit more, willing to participate in this kind of a risky investment, but they know the probability that that they can make money from that. But if you're going to tell them that your trading plan and your risk management plan is risking 5%, 10% a trade, looking to get 30 to 1 like that, I'll tell you that right now, real investor will never invest in that kind of setting. Okay, what they're looking for is what is your risk management, what is your drawdown, okay, your drawdown of of your per month, right? If your drawdown is like 20, 30%, I guarantee you these investors won't be interested in investing in you as a trader. They want consistent return. They want consistent compound return so that whatever money that they ask you to invest is going to be compounded on a monthly basis. Okay, so this is why I keep telling everyone, don't over trade, don't risk more than 1% or 1.5%. Don't over take a lot of position. Don't expect to capture 30 to 1 trade. Look for 3 to 1 minimum. Okay, but 3 to 1 is enough. Okay, 3 to 1 is a good risk reward where if you continuously be even just a 50% trader, I keep talking about this. Even if you're just a 50% trader, you take 10 trades a month, 5 trades loss, 5 trades win. So on average, my 5 trades lost by 1% is 5, right? And my 5 trades times by 3 to 1 is 15. So simple math, right? 15 minus 5 is 10. So if you can stick to this kind of thing, you're going to consistently make 10% a month. And if you can consistently making that in a monthly basis or a yearly basis, I guarantee you that there's so many investors out there that are willing to pour in you the money into this. Guarantee. If you can show your proven result, if you can show your track record, I guarantee you you're gonna find people willing to do this, or firms, or investment firms, or institution that they're willing to do that. So it's not about trying to compound your small account to making it into a 6, 7 account. It's about consistency. It's about making money consistently. That when you're so good at it, when you're consistent, naturally people will want to invest in you. Naturally, there's going to be money pouring into the market and let people to trade. Okay, everyone. So hope this gives you guys a kind of a quick insight on what I see in terms of trading. Okay, that's how I see in terms of trading. How I have changed my perspective and how trading has taken off for me in the years before, in the years in the past. I hope to really pass on this message to everyone. Okay, don't worry about your profit in the beginning. Worry about being consistent as a trader, consistently making profit return. Build up your portfolio, build up your track record, and then look for investor. There's always going to be people out there with larger capital that are willing to invest in this kind of market. Okay. So, any other questions for anybody? Happy to answer them. If not, I will end the stream here. I'm happy. I do like the feedback from everybody. I do enjoy everyone's support as always. Okay, and I mentioned this in the London session. I'll mention this again. I'm not doing this for any monetary reasons. Okay, I'm not doing um, any of these educational videos or any of these analysis or any of the stream. In fact, for any monetary reason, I'm just doing this for as a way to give back to the industry, as a way to really pass on the knowledge and experience and provide value to all the traders out there. And obviously, it also worked out for me as a trader, because the more I do this, the more I'm going to be a better trader, right? The more rules I talk about, the more requirement I talk about, is just going to remind me as a trader to also make sure that if you have a rule like that in there, uh, you yourself as a trader need to follow that as well, right? It's very simple like that. Okay, everyone. So if there's no other questions, I'm happy to end the stream here, and then hope to chat with everyone next time. I will make a stream. I will make a stream. What day is today? I will make a stream on Thursday morning. Okay, 6 o'clock GMT. Okay, I'll put that in my Telegram channel. Okay, so I'll have the links up there. But I will do another daily outlook and market update in the London session on Thursday morning. Okay, so feel free to tune into that. And for those of you who joined late, feel free to leave a comment or post if you have questions. Put in the live chat or the comment there. I'll take a look and I'll answer them accordingly. Okay. So once again, thank you very much, you guys. Appreciate the support, appreciate the welcome from everyone, and hope everyone enjoy the rest of your day, whatever time zone you're in. Happy to chat with you guys again in the future. All right. Thank you very much.